Hey there! Welcome to Dexiverse College of Investigation. My name is Liz, and I'm your host for this very first episode of our podcast. I run this college with my dog Dex, who's actually the head of our school. I'm the messy human, and he's my wise, grounded, and easygoing counterpart. But he'll tell you more about that in our next episode. Let me introduce myself by sharing two life-changing events in my life. 1. I became an immigrant when I was 11. 2. I left law enforcement when I was 40. Ever since childhood, I've been fiercely persistent in chasing my goals. Once I locked eyes on something, nothing could stop me. I was born into a culture where hard work, family name, community rules, and prestige were everything. Being a straight A student, a role model, a perfect human being, whatever that may be, was what success meant. And I was doing pretty well in that category. I developed this attitude of, I am the best. I can achieve anything I want. Well, this wasn't just a vague belief. I kept proving this over and over again through my grades. I was just a perfect student. I made everyone proud. Then something happened that changed my life forever. I became a first-generation immigrant in the Netherlands. New language, new people, new culture, everything was different. And that shiny, successful straight A student, she was silenced instantly. My ability to communicate with words was just gone. So I shifted gears. I began observing, reading the room. Well, yeah, it started as a survival tool, but it became a skill, a way to see patterns others didn't, hidden connections, subtle clues. Despite all the change, one thing stayed the same: the perfect student identity. I was still pushing forward like nothing had changed. My drive, my I'm the best attitude, my belief that I could do anything, it was so strong, failure never even crossed my mind. My teachers advised me to enroll in a lower level high school. Lower level? Are you kidding me? Who were they to tell me I wasn't good enough for top level education? I was 12. I still adapting to a whole new country, and yet I charged forward like I owned the world. And I got what I wanted. Top level high school. I was in. But my new reality started catching up with me. Suddenly, my grades weren't that perfect anymore. I remember crying for hours over my first C. How could I, the straight A student, get a C? And as it turned out, it wouldn't be my last one either. That strong belief, the one that served me for so long, started turning against me. And if a belief is strong enough to make you, it's strong enough to break you. And the funny thing is, I never questioned my perfect student identity until it clashed with my reality. Who was I being perfect for in the first place? How come they got to decide what success looked like? Have you ever wondered who's making the rules and who's gaining from it? Well, we're going to talk about that later. I grew into a woman who refused to be boxed by the word immigrant, or any other word for that matter. I couldn't care less about society attaching meaning to a label they didn't even understand. As if they knew what it felt like to be uprooted as a child. As if they knew what it means to build a whole new life from scratch in a foreign country. They could only talk about it, but I lived it. I grew up in the depths of the system, so I gave a big hush to anyone trying to define me. All I cared about was bringing justice into the world. I didn't have time for endless immigration debates. So yes, I was a fighter, a survivor, a protector, a change maker. All these boxes I fit in perfectly. They expected me to be strong, resilient, independent, persistent. I always swam against the current for the sake of my mission, But you know what there was on the other side of the coin? Feeling misunderstood, feeling unheard, feeling exhausted, feeling lonely. Have you ever felt like that? As if being you came with a cost? Well, while people expected a prestigious career for a law graduate, I surprised them. I chose for law enforcement. I remember my uncle saying, "You went to law school to become a police officer?" Well, yes, I became a criminal investigator. The deeper I got into my field, the more I saw how the game was played. I thought I knew the system. But you know what? Law enforcement showed me I had barely scratched the surface. And the more I tried to change things, the stronger the resistance became. I was used to resistance, yes, and my default gameplay had always been fight harder, push through anyway. But this time it was different. I was drowning in emotion, struggling to think clearly, falling apart. Until one day, my boss said something that shook me to my core. A few simple words that reminded me of who I was. A woman who doesn't let anyone define her potential. That's when I knew it was time to quit. I didn't only quit law enforcement. I left behind a big chunk of my fighter and protector identity. And something strange happened. I didn't feel resentment. I wasn't blaming anyone. I just stood still, which is very unlike me. Not knowing my next goal felt weird and exciting at the same time because I could be or do anything. It was a reset, a chance to rediscover myself. So I took it. I stopped seeing the system as flawed and rigid and began imagining it as a living, breathing giant. Let me explain that. Think of your own body for a second. Trillions of cells forming your blood, organs, and everything, all interconnected in the most beautiful but complex way, each doing its part to keep you alive. You don't question your body all day. You trust it to do its thing. Well, until something hurts. Physical discomfort tells you that something is wrong. And that's exactly what the system does too. It wants to survive. So it protects itself against any danger or threat. It makes sure every part serves the greater mission. Preserve the status quo. And just like your body, you can't track every detail of the system's inner workings. So you trust it. Until, well, emotional discomfort shows up. And that's your clue. That's when I began my investigation. But you see, I had to step out of the system to regain my clarity. I started using my emotions as powerful clues and my investigative mind as a tool. That's when I realized I couldn't just blame the system anymore, because it takes two to tango. If the system was pushing my buttons, it was because I let it, even though it was unconsciously. The more you're overwhelmed by your emotions, the easier it becomes for the system to take over. And that realization became the foundation of my new goal, building a college that offers playful tools to spark curiosity. Because curiosity leads to clarity and self-awareness. Here at Dexiverse, we offer playful tools to understand our emotions and how they're connected with everything that surrounds us. We use metaphors, symbols, art, and storytelling to keep things light and inspiring. Because self-reflection doesn't always have to be painful. So let me give you two quick examples. First one, we use boxes instead of societal labels. Why? Because labels are flat, they're rigid. Boxes are three-dimensional. And here's what I mean by that. One of my labels is woman. But being a woman in college was very different from being a woman in law enforcement. Two different environments, two different expectations, two different versions of me. A box gives you that space, freedom to move, to explore different dimensions of the same word, to define the box for yourself. Second example, we call our emotions buttons. Why? Because it's tangible, which makes them easier to play with. You can literally imagine someone pushing your button and you reacting to that. Here at this college, we don't minimize our emotions. We ask questions instead. Like, what's pushing my button? What information is behind it? Who benefits from the way I react? You know why buttons are so important to us? Because they reveal patterns. That is, if you choose to listen to them. Boxes and buttons help you uncover the hidden beliefs running your life. And once you know what makes you tick, you can start playing the systems game on your terms. That's what we do here. There's so much more to tell, but let's take things one step at a time. So just to be clear, I'm not a teacher. I'm not an expert. I'm not here to tell you how you should live your life, because that's up to you. I'm just another investigator, walking the same human path as you. So if you've ever felt boxed, limited, misunderstood, judged, maybe this is the right place for you. If you resonate with our style, open, honest, playful, and non-judgmental, we'd love for you to join us, because we're in this together. But hey, don't just take my word for it. You should listen to Dexiverse. You'll meet him in our next episode. And trust me, once you hear how wise that Labrador is, you'll understand exactly why he's the head of the college and not me. Thank you for listening. See you next time.